You were expecting an opening to a review, but it was me, Two things are guaranteed when a shonen manga becomes popular. The first is that it will receive an anime adaptation, and the second thing is that a fighting game will be developed using the wide cast of characters attributed to these type of series. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a weird series for this because despite its immense popularity and deep-rooted presence in pop culture inside and outside of Japan, it seems that the opportunity to make games based on Hirohiko Araki's manga have been few and far between. That doesn't mean that they don't exist though, as Capcom's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighting game captured the hearts of many when it was released October 31st, 1999 in North America. The game now has a cult following, particularly because it was the only game of the series made available to the West. That is until JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, which was released in 2013 for the PlayStation 3. All-Star Battle released a solid review, so it's no surprise that almost 10 years later, the game has been updated, tweaked a little, and remastered to create JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. Released on September 1st on pretty much everything, All-Star Battle R is familiar territory if you've ever been blessed by the PS3 version, and if not, it's a neat fighting game that beginners can sink their teeth into in no time. Featuring 51 fighters spanning across JoJo's 8 magnificent parts, with an extra fighter from Araki's Bao series, the game allows you to live your fantasies through character interactions that would never see the light of day otherwise. Do you want to see Jonathan Joestar take on Funny Valentine? Well, now you can, and the game shines because of it. The game's cast of characters is good. Nearly every main character is playable here. There's Stam users, Hamon users, vampires, and characters on horseback, with their movesets and dialogue referencing various moments of this series which you may have forgot. Nearly every line they utter is a reference to something of some sort, and every move they make has probably been recreated from the show. It creates a unique fighting game that if you're a JoJo's fan, you should be all over. Also, more characters are planned for DLC, so this is a beefy fighting game full of wit, and it's about to get even beefier. It also differs from the PS3 version too, introducing support characters into the series. With a touch of a button, another character can come flying in and help you out in regard to beating an opponent. So, for example, you could choose Jotaro as your character to fight with, and then throw Koichi in for support. This extra depth to the battle system is nice, and it leads to what feels like an unlimited amount of combinations between characters. Each character has their own unique ability in regard to being a support, such as being an anti-air or a counter-attacker for example. However, despite the ability to create crazy crossover moments, the main single player mode for All-Star Battle R, neatly titled All-Star Battle, sees the characters stick to their individual parts, recreating certain fights seen in the manga, as well as facing some unlikely foes along the way. There's no story here, unlike the PS3 version which recaps the manga. Instead, the game mode is simply a group of fights bundled together for the sake of sticking to the series' established parts. The All-Star Battle mode was my main source of game time. There is over 100 fights here, and every fight has a handful of secret missions for you to complete. They're essentially just mini tasks that require you to delve a little deeper into a character's moveset, and there's hundreds of collectibles to unlock by doing so. These collectibles range from different costumes for characters, different colours for characters, development artwork, models of the characters, music, taunts, voice lines, and many more that I probably forgot to mention. Every fight is ranked from 1 star to 5 stars, and they each have their own special rules to go alongside. Things like players' damage decreased or opponents' defense increased are rules that try and make every fight feel unique and different. If you're struggling with a particular fight, you can always purchase a support effect to help make it easier. Things such as an opponent's health bar being halved or improving your own attack and defense can be purchased here, and they don't require riches to take advantage of them. You earn gold through completing a fight in All-Star Battle mode, but you can also earn it through standard fights or playing the arcade mode, in which I recommend waiting for Shigekio's harvest to be lingering over the arcade mode because you'll get considerably more gold. All-Star Battle R comes equipped with a shop too, in which you can purchase more of the collectibles that I mentioned previously, but these ones cannot be obtained any other way. There's a lot that can be purchased here, with a requirement for purchasing over 500 items for an achievement/trophy. The bottom line is, there is a lot to unlock in this game mode, so if you're worried about the lack of single player content, I hope this puts your mind at ease. So for this next segment, I actually wrote this review when this game came out, but I didn't do YouTube then, so I never made a video about it. But the online, when I tried to record footage for this game, was dead, and when I did match with someone after waiting for like 5 minutes, the game crashed. It took ages to load as well, and then it just crashed, so I don't know, at least I've got that recorded. But yeah, I don't have any footage of the online, you'll just have to take my word for it. So that's the single player content out the way. How does the online fare? Not very well, unfortunately. For a remaster of a game from 2013, the online sure shows its age. Firstly, there is a simple player match option, which is essentially just a casual mode for JoJo, and secondly, there is a ranked match option. If you think the ranking actually matters, or that there's distinguished ranks a la Street Fighter or Tekken, then don't hold your breath. Ranked matches seemingly gives you a random amount of battle score when you win, and takes away a random amount when you lose. Maybe it's based around your performance in the match, so like if the fight was really easy you get loads of points, but if you get steamrolled it takes away loads of points, but I can't say for certain. This makes the most logical sense, but I can't remember the game stating it outright. Then when you get into a lobby, if your opponent doesn't have a 3-bar connection, you may as well back out. Yes, it's that bad. If you're a fighting game player, you're probably familiar with rollback, and if you're not, I'll briefly explain. Rollback netcode essentially makes fighting games smoother regardless of connection stability by trying to predict what the player does next instead of waiting around for inputs. This is non-existent in JoJo, and it seems to use an outdated player-to-player connection instead. This led to countless times in which online matches just stopped due to the lag, and me and my opponent were just standing around waiting for it to blow over like idiots. It also makes inputs lag and generally kills the rhythm of a fight. It's hard to get into a groove when you're being interrupted every few seconds, or an input you're doing isn't registered quick enough due to the poor connection. If you're buying this solely for the online experience, I wouldn't bother. It is not fun. I'm not going to pretend that I haven't had good matches online, but they're only possible when you have a 3-bar connection with the other player, and even then, the game doesn't run smooth like it should. Anything less than 3-bar connection is unbearable to play, and it's a shame. As Namco Bandai have shown interest in making this a long-term project with the use of DLC, this may get fixed, but right now, nothing has been said about it. I can only recommend JoJo for the offline solo modes or local versus matches only, which is where I plan on spending any future time I put into this game. Despite its solid structure and general enjoyment from playing, JoJo can be hard to recommend if you're not into the series, or if you're looking for a fighting game to play primarily online. From a fan's perspective, I think this game is amazing with all the references, jokes and banter packed into it, and with the fighting feeling great and ridiculously fun, it's all I could ask for. Although, taking a step back from that bias and re-evaluating the whole package, I think it's hard to recommend at the ridiculous price point of £40 for a nearly 10-year-old game, especially when the online is dragging the game back to the past by its throat. Unless you plan on spending most of your time offline, this game can be skipped, or at least wait until it's updated or at a cheaper price. Thanks so much for watching guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.